To the latest in our series of interviews of people from the world of construction and property. And today we've got somebody who can help you improve your return on investment. And that it may not be what you think it is. So today we've got Kirsty Brown from Dust the Job, and she is an absolute expert and passionate about deep cleaning.
Thank you.
It's not just any old cleaning. It's a special form of cleaning, and we're going to dig into that as we go along. So the idea behind today is we're going to dig into your passion for what you do, what actually prompted you to do what you do now. So I'll kick off straight away with the first question. We'll come on to your business a little bit later. So Kirsty, what was the spark that prompted you to set this business up?
This might sound like a bit of a weird one, really, because I used to work for other cleaning companies, and of course, like other cleaning companies, absolutely fantastic at what they do. I think I probably fell into maybe not so good ones. And I just noticed that when they were doing general cleans, they weren't, let's say, cleaning the skirting boards. And I'm like, takes 2 seconds, just give it a little hoover, you're all right, a little wipey and what. And it was really bugging me. And I'd have some girls and they'd absolutely whip through the house in the 2 hours that we were there. And I'd spend the full 2 hours in the bathroom cleaning that. And I just found that I was doing too much. I just can't do general cleaning. I find it so hard just to wipe what you can see. I want to make sure you're not breathing in dust, like from behind your radiators and things like that. I want to make sure every window is clean, everything. I just want to make sure that you've paid for what you deserve. And I think that's what made me want to go into it by myself, because I know personally what I want, and it's very hard to make other people understand what you standards are. But that for me was a no-brainer. I could do this 10 times better. But
well, I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to jump ahead now, because it's worth pointing out that what you do is not just your standard clean. This is really for people who want sparkle. And this is where you go into every nook and cranny, and it takes a lot longer than a standard clean, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah. I would say a job, even if it's an oven clean, I book a full day out for it. It could still take me 2 hours, but I like to charge like flat rates. So let's say, for example, you wanted your kitchen clean for £20. Obviously, that's very unrealistic, but it's £20 whether I'm there for an hour or 15 hours.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, because I like to be transparent. I like people to know what the end cost and the end result is going to be. And if they're not happy, they'll go back. You know, I'm not happy if you're not happy. And I'd do it for free if I could. I love it. I just love cleaning so much. And I love to see a little smile on people's faces afterwards.
Well, let's come back to that, because I want to. I've seen your photos, and I had to make it part of this. We'll come back to that in a bit. So let's talk about your business in terms of what's your proudest moment in business so far.
So my proudest is probably one of the biggest learning curves that I went on as well. So it was my first job I ever got. So I only started in January, so I'm really new to going at all this alone. And it was a lovely, lovely bloke in Formby. So it's about a 40-minute drive from me. And it was a 4-bedroom house. I was like, okay. And I got it off Bark as well. So he found me on Bark, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah. How much would you charge? And we did a video call, and he showed me everywhere around his house and everything. It was lovely. And he was like, oh, wait, I'm in touch with the cleaners, so I'll let you know. And I was like, I want this job. I want it, because it's going to be my first ever job. I don't care how much it takes. And I was like, it should take me about 8 hours. I'll charge X amount for it. And it ended up taking me 30 hours to do, and 3 journeys there and back. Wow. So I think I ended up working for about £6 an hour or something. But I absolutely loved was knackered, and I was like, no, pushing through it. And it made me realize that this is really what I want to do. Like, that should have put me off. And then as well, I think on the second day, I walked through the door and got a little box of chocolates and a card for me to say thank you. And I was like, this is why I do this job, because people appreciate the hard work that goes in. And a lot of people forget that, yes, you're paying for a service, but it's not very personal sometimes. And I want to make that service so personal, because it's a massive invasion of space. I mean, his mother had just passed away, and he was getting the house ready to sell to his friends, and he was like, don't worry about this, because they're going to redecorate anyway. And I was like, nah, cleaning the walls, I'm doing it all. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was so sweet, and passed all your details on. He was the first one to leave me feedback, and that will forever stick in my mind. That I lost a lot of money, but I gained so much experience from him.
Yeah,
that's invaluable to me. That's worth more than anything he could ever pay.
Well, in terms of what you did for him, what we're going to do, because normally I ask about the range of services that you offer, but we're not going to do that. We're going to show people.
Oh, it's so much better than explaining. Oh, I do this.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So let's have a little look, because we can talk about the types of things that you do. And these are a number of before and after pictures. So I don't know. Over to you. Just tell me when to put forward.
Okay, so this is like one of my first professional oven cleans.
Yeah.
And this one actually took me about 3 hours to clean. But recently I've been in touch with a company that supplies a really good eco-friendly cleaner, which literally cleans anything and a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a major thing that I need to do. I need to speed up, because I don't want to lose money, and I want to make sure I'm in and out of your house as quick as you need me to be. So something like this, yeah, a lot of blood, sweat and tears went into this one. But again, a massive, massive learning curve. I was not leaving that oven until it was clean.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That looks clean to me. It's like even this bit, it looks like rusty there, and that's...
Yeah, and
so,
you know what? As well, like with oven cleans and stuff, people forget that they're a massive fire hazard. You've got all this fat sat at the bottom of your cooker, and especially if it's gas or something as well. Yeah. You think, oh, one day it might just explode or set on fire. You just don't know. You're just best keeping on top of it, and sometimes that's all people need, is someone to come and do that. And then the next time you use it, you go, oh, keep it clean now. I paid for that. You don't want to go and buy another oven for 12 times the cost of what I do it for. It's crazy.
Okay, and this is
Hobbs. People forget. I mean, this was quite clean, as you can see around the outsides.
Yeah.
You take them, the top metal bits, I don't know what they're called. You take them off, you figure out like, whoa, all this grease from your pans, it goes down the side of the pans and it goes into that hole, it goes around the outside. The gas clicker.
Yeah.
You press it and it goes click, click, click. They stop working because they're just clogged. And again, you've got a naked flame next to all this fat buildup. And it's just so important just to clean over it. But again, until it gets really, really bad, you haven't got to worry about dangerous things happening.
Well, let's skip through a few of these. We've got, again, before and after, and you're getting things to sparkle, aren't you? Oh my God, that is impressive.
Love stuff like that. Isn't it? Just that you can see through it is just enough for me.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive.
Thank you.
Before and after.
This one was really mouldy. It was really strange, that one, because like the tiles were very porous.
Yeah.
I felt like I could have spent a lot more time in that bathroom, but it is so strange, honestly. I think I spent about six hours in that bathroom, but I wasn't leaving until the necessities were clean.
I
Same
hope you.
toilet, bathroom, bath even.
I've heard a lot about your sparkly taps, and I believe there's some pictures in this as well. Oh, that's impressive. Another
Stainless
sparkle.
steel. Anything stainless steel. Give it
Uh,
me.
Another oven, which is an old oven on the left and a new one on the right. Is that what you do? You just bring a new one in? That'd be
Yeah,
quicker, wouldn't
sometimes. I do have them in my pocket.
it? Yeah. Uh, now that's
This is another place that we all forget about underneath the cupboards.
yeah.
Can't see it, don't care, do you? And
Yeah, it all sort of it gathers over time, doesn't it?
and you do find that you start like smelling as well, and you think, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's that greasy smell. Everywhere's clean. It's not, mate. Have a look underneath your cupboards.
Well, that just shows that you get into all the nooks and crannies, don't you? Oh, sparkly taps. Here we go. So mouldy taps on the left, sparkly taps on the right.
And that's a bit of limescale buildup as well, especially if you're in hard water areas.
Yeah.
Just needs a little bit of TLC.
Yeah.
That's all. And it's not. I say it's not hard work. It's not hard work once it's gone.
Yeah.
So my aim of the game really is to put you on a path that you're capable of keeping on top of more than anything. People let things get on top of them, and we're all guilty for it.
Well, I think overall what you're doing is you're doing the complete job. You're doing literally everything, and you're not happy unless you do it, are you?
I'm taking them back to scratch, and if I can make that item look brand new, I will. Yeah. Sometimes it's not possible, you know. Some things are just beyond helping, but it prolongs the life a little bit better. So it actually saves you money in the long run. Like with the chair, for example, it still had rust on the base of it, but it looked 10 times better. If I saw rust on something, I'd go, buy a new chair. 50, 60 quid. You know, you could get someone else in to clean it for you for less than that. So
yeah.
cleaning.
Okay, so let's talk about what's a really good job for you. And I know it might seem obvious, which is dirty houses that need a deep clean. Well, let's be a little bit more strategic. So what type of introductions are good for you?
If someone came at me with a full-on hoarders clean, I'd be in my element. And you know what? I'd probably go, do you know what? I'll do it for free because I want this. I want to make this just 100 times better. I just want to make your life easier, because obviously depression's a massive factor in why people start to go down the route of not keeping themselves clean, not keeping houses clean, and things like that. I want to help.
Yeah.
As I said previously, if I could do this without charging, I would. But obviously, we've all got to pay the bills. We've all got to eat and things like that. But hoarders clean. You throw a hoarders clean at me, I've got it.
Yeah, so I guess as well, you've got people like letting agents who are doing an end of tenancy.
Of course, yeah. So I went off track there with that, didn't I? So yeah, builders cleans. Dirtier the better. That's the only way I can describe the cleans that I would love to do. But the cleans that I can do and will do are literally anything from, I just want a little spring clean, or I just need this cupboard reorganising because I've probably got loads of out-of-date tins in there of food. And, you know, I just need someone to just come and clean my fridge. I just can't be bothered to do it. Can you do it?
Yeah.
I will do the things that you don't want to do, or you need a little bit more professionalism. Like you say, if you're a property owner or you've just moved in, you've just bought a building, sorry, ready for tenants to move into, and you go, it's so dusty in here, it's been sat for 6 months with no one in it. I'm in there, I'll get it clean. I'll get it as if that house has been lived in and loved for however long it's been empty for.
Yeah. Well, I suppose another one then is student accommodation, because they all go at the same time.
That's a good point. Yeah, I've not managed to get my foot in the door with the student accommodations, but can you imagine what they'd be like to clean? They'd be
like I mean, people of a certain age and may remember the young ones in the 1980s.
It's all about Rick Mail. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
With the tattoo, yeah,
absolutely. You can't take life too
yeah,
seriously.
yeah. Because that place needed a deep clean. If you've seen it, right? Okay. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about networking. You're relatively new to networking, although you couldn't tell. So what's the story behind any jobs that you've got from word of mouth, from clients recommending you, or anything that you've generated from your early forays into the world of networking?
So mainly, so initially everyone loves to mention a bit of Pam Case on the gin
Yeah,
in this video. No, Pam is the one who introduced me to your group, and she kindly introduced me to something that I didn't even think was in my range, if you know, if that makes sense. Like, I would have never thought about connecting with the people that you have in the group, and my mind is blown from how much people get in touch with me and either ask me questions or just say, I've got a property, do you fancy coming cleaning it today? Amazing. Like I say, Daniel Horrocks from HPS, he's had me in to do a builder's clean, and he's had me back and back and back and back because his builders are taking a little bit longer, and he's like, come do builder's clean, they're ready to go.
yeah,
Oh, they're not ready to go, come back. Like, why are you picking me? You could pick anyone, I'm taking ages. And he's like, I like what you do, I've seen what you do, I can see the passion in it, and that's all it takes, that little bit of word of mouth. And everyone in that group has just been so nice. Like, even though they might not need your services, I think you've got to remember that networking isn't about the people that you're connecting with in that networking group, or the people, or your customers, potential customers. They pass on feedback from other people, they recommend you.
yeah.
And yeah, I've had in fact, I think I've got Richard Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants me to go and clean for him as well when I come back off holiday. And I'm just overwhelmed with it. And that's a residential. That's him just going, seeing what you do. I like it. Come clean my house.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fantastic. It's just, it really is not what you know, it is who you know.
Yeah.
And no one's big headed about anything in that group either. Everyone's very, very humble about what they do, and all they want is the best for everyone, even if it means your business is nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
It's,
I would agree.
yeah.
They're a good bunch. Now, I know the answer to the next question. It's almost a rhetorical question. Would you class yourself as a networking extrovert or an introvert?
I don't know, Ian, what would you suggest?
I would say you're a raging extrovert.
I do say that.
Am I right? Yeah.
Now, if you'd have asked me about a year ago, I would have said a massive introvert. I had a massive, again, depression and self-loathing and all that lot, and you just think you're worthless. Yeah, ask me a year ago, no.
Yeah.
And even 3 or 4 months ago, before I joined this group, I found that I wasn't very open to going and seeking other people's advice. I thought I was a bit of a know-it-all, and I still am a bit of a know-it-all, don't get me wrong. If someone tries to tell me like, oh, have you tried cleaning an oven like this? I'm like, yes, I've tried it. It doesn't work for me, go away. Or if someone tries to help me, I'm not like, go away.
Yeah.
But this group has really, really opened my mind, opened my eyes to see that there's so much help out there that is indirect.
Yeah.
And being an extrovert is a fantastic way to make friends. Being an introvert, which I kind of wish I was, because I would say my fella is an introvert massively. We are so opposite, and he will sit and listen and take everything in. And that's the main quality that I feel like I lack.
Yeah.
Do lack concentrating and listening. So yes, I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
I so wish I was introvert as well.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of what we're doing is structured to suit the introvert. The extroverts hopefully don't notice. Did you notice when you came to the event?
Do you know what? I felt right at home in that event.
Yeah.
That, like I say, that was the first time. In fact, that's the first time I think I've been out by myself, other than obviously arriving with Pam, that I felt really comfortable.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot for me, and you probably wouldn't think it. Obviously, like you know me a little bit better than what people will be watching this video and know me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a massive challenge for me, and I nailed it because
Yeah.
you guys made it so comfortable. It's like, come in, guys, here, get your chip butty, and it's just chill and down to earth and up my street entirely.
Yeah. Well, there's method in the madness for doing online and offline, because one of the reasons we did it online first is that it takes away some of the nerves when you go to the event, because you've kind of met a few people already
Mhm.
on the Zoom calls in the WhatsApp group. So I've got another rhetorical question, because I think I know the answer. I'm going to ask you, do you think the future of networking is online, in person, or blending the two?
I think you've got to blend the two still,
Yeah.
just to meet everyone's feelings.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the thing is as well, like the way I'm feeling now, absolutely brilliant. I could have a really bad week and go, don't want to go to that meeting next week. Really don't want to go. And that's where the group online, like in the WhatsApp group, really comes in handy, because you can kind of go, look, guys, I've had a really bad week. Look at this review I've had or something. And they go, oh, don't worry about it. Any review's a good review. And it perks you right up. So you could become really introverted so quickly.
Yeah.
And just to have them two options, I think, is really precious.
Yeah, it's good for ending the isolation. Even when you've got a big team of people, sometimes the business owner can be quite lonely, because they can't talk as openly to the team. Sometimes
Absolutely.
they've got to carry the burden of the VAT bill and the tax bill and cash flow and all of that. So
Yeah.
so now you've done some online events and real world events, and I know it's early, but what tips would you give for someone looking to take part in networking for the first time?
I would say, yes, it can be daunting. And yes, you might feel like you're going to be put out of your comfort zone. But as soon as you push yourself over that little barrier, that little freak out that you think you're going to have, my God, you feel right at home.
Yeah.
You then start to realize that you're in the company that you need to be in, and you want to be in it. If you start to feel like you don't want to be in that company, or you don't feel comfortable, not the right group.
Yeah.
Simple as. It's the same with a group of friends. You know, you can pick and choose. You can come, you can go, you don't have to stay, whatever. But honestly, people need to start pushing themselves a little bit more. I think COVID really took away a lot of people's stability to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And can't think of the word. But yeah, I think a lot of people, confidence, I think people got a massive confidence knock, and
Yeah.
some people are still in that stage. And again, that's why you need the online stuff, in my opinion, as
Yeah.
well as the face-to-face meeting. And you
Yeah.
just go from, there's no commitment to it at the end of the day, but I never thought I'd need networking.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do without it. There's no way I would ever, well, I don't want to ever leave this group, but if I ever move into a different sector of
Yeah.
self-employment, I'd always find a good networking group, because it's invaluable. It really is.
Well, we've spoken an awful lot about your area of expertise, network and construction and property, but all of this pales into insignificance compared to the hottest topic around. And I've got to ask you this question, which is for those who are tuning in for the first time. We asked our group to vote for a question from the audience, and the question from the audience is this: are you for or against garden gnomes, and why?
Now, how could you be against those little cheeky germs? Seriously, like with the little bums out and all that lot, and doing little cheeky poses.
Yeah.
No, I'm totally for them. And I think the other main reason why I'm for them is, can you imagine walking past someone's house while you're dog walking or whatever, and you've got a cheeky gnome with its butt out?
Yeah.
You know for a fact that that person is just so down to earth.
Yeah.
And you get along with them. Or let's say you go and meet a client, like for me for example, and I go in and I'm like, I don't know what to expect this clean. They've sent me pictures and that house is awful. And you think, I don't know what I'm walking into here. You see a little garden gnome? Okay, they're cheeky chaps. I'm going to get along with these people. It's a very good personality.
So it's a good criteria for I guess for niching your market.
Oh God, yeah, a little bit like with bright hair and things like that. You know that that person doesn't take life too seriously, and in my opinion, they're my kind of people. But equally, I can get on with anyone. No more, no gnome.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna thank you for your time, Kirsty, and as usual, I don't really have any music to end it with, but we might change that with this video. Who knows? There's no song and dance. There's no graphics. It just ends suddenly.
Who knows? It could.
I don't know at this moment in time. We'll find out. So, thanks very much for your time.